Back at the top, it is 8 points. Arsenal in front of Manchester City. Let's go back to the Emirates. Right, he's smiling away. Sunday for Arsenal, and in particular for the returning Gabriel Jesus, who joins us now. Thank you very much indeed, Gabriel. On a personal level, after all you've been through, how good does that feel today?
Hello, guys. Hello, everyone there.
Nice.
And so happy to be back. To start the game again in Premier League, the league that I love and I have been here 7 years. So yeah, so happy to have come back with the team, and also of course I want to score every time, but the 3 points is massive in that period.
I was going to say to you, Gabriel Jesus, about the frustration it must have been watching this team. How frustrating has it been to be out that long and now waiting to get back, knowing that the team need you so much?
Yes, legend. It's normal. You guys play, and then you know the game. When you are watching from outside, it's no good.
Yeah.
But I was happy because the team keep the energy, keep the well played with the games. It's the most important games. We win. So yeah, it's still there. Now I have more power, more energy, and of course I want to play till the end of the season to help the team.
Really well done, Gabriel. Thank you very much indeed for joining us there. Apologies for some slight sound issues, but he's happy. 2 goals, 4 for Arsenal as well. It still wasn't the highest to 8 at the top. 4-1 then against Leeds. Slow start from the Gunners, but the penalty was the all-important moment, really settled them down.
Yeah, it was, yeah. And what you're seeing with City and with Arsenal, no matter how well you start, they're going to have a period in the game where they're going to put pressure on you. And in this case, obviously, Jesus getting in this kind of area is going to be a problem for anyone. You know, it's great skills in the end, and the contact, like I say, yeah, it might be a bit soft for some people, but it's enough in this day and age to get a penalty. And, he got the penalty, and then Arsenal settled down after that. You see that? I think he got clipped there, but then there it was there on the knee. It's gone down, and, penalty given.
And it was good for him, Michael, having not scored for Arsenal in the Premier League since October the 1st.
It was. I think this is the best angle. You see a foot from Ayling onto the knee of Jesus there. It is quite soft. There's not that much force in it, but I do think it's high. I do think there's enough contact to give a penalty. But the relief, when you come back from injury after a long period of time as a centre forward, you're just desperate to start hitting the back of the net again. For him to get a brace today. The penalty, not so convincing, I don't think you thought there, Sean. Nor did I.
No, I see what he tried to do. I think the keeper left it as long as he could. I think if he waits that little bit longer, he maybe stops it, but it's a risk you don't really want to take as a goalkeeper. So, yeah, it goes in the end, and Arsenal 1-0 up at that time.
And we said at half-time, next goal critical, and very much like Manchester City in their game in the second half. Straight away, Ben White makes it 2.
Yeah, he does, and again, from half-time, I thought Arsenal needed to speed it up a bit, and I think they did with their passing. You see them in the last third, and once this goes across, he's not watching where Ben White is. He's lost him on the back post, and they're in. But this is what I'm saying about when you get a City and an Arsenal in this kind of area of the field, and you're not tight enough, and you're able to then get the ball in the box with runners. You're going to score. You've got to be a lot tighter. I saw Bournemouth do it. They've done very, very well defending, but in the end, he was free on the back stick and scored the goal.
Yeah, doubling up out wide there. It's a common theme as well for Arsenal. Zinchenko getting forward. It's a brilliant ball by Martinelli.
Yeah.
And he nearly missed. He was only a couple of yards down. But they're not easy to keep down. Yeah. He'll be a relieved man to see it going off the bar.
Yeah, and Jesus, as Michael says, to get a brace after all he's been through in his fight just to get back on the pitch.
Yeah, I think he's come back sharp. But that's a great ball in there. And Trossard don't look, he just puts it into an area, but Jesus sees that area and attacks it and he slides it in.
It's when he gets it there, Sean. Look at his turn, look at quick. Now the speed of it. This is what Arsenal weren't doing in the first half. The speed, then the movement, look at his pace into the box, and then you put it in the area. And then, and that is what they weren't doing in the first half. And this is what they're going to have to get back to, because this is what Arsenal were doing when they were doing it well. When they were beating teams, they were starting a lot faster, and it's taken them the second half to get going.
Yeah, Christensen got one back for Leeds with the help of the deflection, and then It was Granit Xhaka's turn.
Well, what he's been doing is he's been playing another 15, 20 yards up the field in this latest stage under Mikel Arteta, and that again was a fantastic run, but the ball into him was sublime from Ødegaard. Again, look, you give a player of that kind of caliber, see what he's doing, like we talked about Alvarez, just dropping off and letting players run off of him, and then he gets the time to put a ball in, and with that kind of time and that space, he's going to hit his target, and this, from this angle, you see it's a fantastic header, brilliant header.
But that's what I think Saka brings when he's on the pitch. Did you see when Saka had the ball there? There was 3 or 4 Leeds players around him. That gives Ødegaard that space to be able to open out his body and lift his head up.
Yeah, that's 7 goals for Granit Xhaka, his best goal-scoring season for Arsenal. So, in terms of the race, they were asked the question again by City. They've come up with a very comprehensive answer.
Yeah, they did. And again, it's like I say, it's a young guy in what they've got to do. I have to say with Leeds, they started pretty well, but in the end, because Arsenal are playing the formation they know, the system they know, and they've got players playing well in the system, they'll just, even if they do concede a goal, they'll just keep going. Like I say, once Arsenal are playing with pace and real verve and real intensity, they're very hard to stop, especially at home.
Joe, thank you. Yes, earlier in the day, Manchester City winning by 4 goals to 1. Then the question was asked of Arsenal, and they have done exactly the same and comfortably in the end, righty.
Yeah, I say that's what they've been doing recently. You go into these games, and yeah, on paper they look very difficult, but Arsenal have been dispatching teams, especially at home. Didn't think they started as quickly as I'd like them to have, but in the second half especially, once they got themselves going, passed it a lot quicker, and they beat them quite comfortably in the end. It was good when you consider Man City winning and Arsenal having to win, and they've done it. They're showing a lot of maturity.
Landmark win for Mikel Arteta as well, 100 as the Arsenal manager, and for the first time since he took over, they have won 7 Premier League games in a row.
There's contact. I don't think there's enough contact for him to go down in the way he did, but that's what happened. You get a little contact there. He looked to me like he was really on the way down. I'm not saying I'm not happy to get the penalty, but I just think that these kind of penalties now are part and parcel of how the game is now. I think there's a little bit of contact there. He doesn't go, but that there, is what he's giving it for. There's the contact there, so.
Sure.
Eric.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. It is a bit soft, but if you're going to do that, I think there's a point there. He chops him so well that Ayling can actually move his leg out of the way to avoid doing what he's done, but I felt like he puts his leg there.
Okay, 3 out of 3, is it, you think, as well?
Yeah, he plays for it. He definitely plays for it. It's certainly not enough to knock him off his feet and send him down, but he catches him high. It's a clumsy challenge. I think it's a pen.
Now, you noticed something very clever from Arsenal. Bukayo Saka is obviously the Arsenal penalty taker. Ødegaard had the ball, and then Jesus took it.
Yeah, I've been noticing this a lot among a few clubs where the player that isn't taking it will take it and take the banter from the other teams and stare the keeper out, and then they normally hand it over to who is actually going to take the penalty, just to stay away from all that and keep his head focused on it. But I thought Jesus there was a little bit lucky with that finish for the keeper, to be honest.
Do you think it's too close?
Yeah, I think it was very close.
And low?
Yeah.
It's still in a goal, though.
Yeah, he's going to say that.
That's your fault for the penalties in the back garden. Fair enough. At 0-0, Leeds had a very fast start right from the kickoff, actually.
Yeah, well, Arsenal have been caught in starts, and it seems something that I think people have maybe noticed, that they're maybe not switched on, but this was a really, really good effort. It's a good save. You'd expect them to make that save, but it was a very good start from Leeds, and I thought they started very well. Once they got into this kind of area, like, see him doing great stuff here, Somerville, and he's got to do better with that. He's got to start that outside the post and whip it in. It's made it very easy for the goalkeeper to save it. And again, you look at this situation here, and once it does go into the box, it's a good save. It's a very, very good save there, but he didn't. The angle was too tight for him. But Arsenal started very slowly. I thought they passed very slowly. And I think they're very fortunate to get in front with that penalty. It's a poor penalty for Leeds to give away.
OK, Arsenal in front. The rest of the games then to the Amex. And on that point, Leicester away when Haaland didn't play earlier in the season. You've seen a few of the headlines there. What can we read into that?
Yeah, well, let's have a look at the numbers from that Leicester game when Haaland didn't play, Steve. I mean, this touches in the opposition box, obviously, at 24 is well down when Haaland doesn't play. However, the numbers outside the box in terms of the possession won, the pressures in the attack in third, and the high turnovers, all higher. So it's just really compounding what Sean just said there is you're probably going to get more work rate, more closing down, more winning the ball higher. So a different style, but certainly more touches in the box.
And then what happens if you do get that? Then, Mike, if you get that kind of situation happens, and then you get the chances, you actually might get more chances. You might get more opportunities to create chances because you're winning the ball further up in the pitch, and then you're right where Liverpool don't want you, giving them pressure.
Well, Pep didn't commit there to how long Erling Haaland might be out, but of course we are beginning a huge month. It is always in the title race in any season. You always hear the Premier League managers talk about that, and as you can see, these are the fixtures now. They're busier for Manchester City, of course, because of those two outstanding games in the Champions League quarter-final against Bayern. And, of course, they're still in the FA Cup with the semi-final to come against Sheffield United as well. When you actually look at that, by the time they meet each other, Righty, if they both win all their league games, Arsenal would be 11 clear of City, but City would have 2 games in hand.
Yeah, well, this is why I think that this is a very big game for Liverpool. You know, I think Liverpool have got to go. No, it's all seriousness. No, all seriousness. What you need, ideally, Steve, you do need for obviously Liverpool to win today, and then Arsenal later on beat Leeds, because I do believe they're going to need to win. City are going to need to lose a game at least, and Arsenal are going to have to win another couple of games to give them the cushion by the time they do get to play them. Because I think that they're going to need to be at least 5 points ahead of them by the time, 5 points ahead of them, even 8 points ahead of them before they play them, because then you've got a cushion. If you don't win the game, then it's 5 points, then it's up to you to finish it off. Or if they do win today, City and Arsenal don't, the pressure is what Arsenal are expecting, is what they're going to have to deal with. But you look at that, they've got a tough run themselves, City, and they've got the Champions League, which I'm sure they want to do. But like for me, Arsenal and the way they're playing, taking each game as come, I still fancy us to finish it off.
Sean, I know City have been this course time and time again, but is there a concern with the obsession of the Champions League and those 2 huge games looming against Bayern that it could affect the Premier League?
I think with the squad of players they got, I think it is doable. I think it's also disrespectful to basically say that they can't do it. We have to respect what Arsenal's done and what they've achieved and the way they've been playing over the course of the season. But I do personally think it's honestly doable. I think if they win this game, because today this is a big game for me, and Arsenal draws somewhere along the line and they win that game, it only takes a few points of them dropping for the gap for me to be closed up. And then it's a different sort of pressure. And it's that saying that, as I say, squeaky bum time for you, Dad, like at that time. So then I think we'll just go on and win it after that point.
You've won 3 trophies in a season. When you keep winning, do you feel that momentum? Do you just almost notice not what the competition is?
You do, yeah. I mean, absolutely. When you get on a good roll, especially at this stage of the season, it's very important. I can't ignore, though, the difficulty of Arsenal's run in there. I know 8 points is a lot. Man City with 1 game in hand, so it could be 5. Today is so vital for Manchester City. If they get beat or draw today, I think it's Arsenal's then to lose. I mean, Arsenal should go on and win it. But if Manchester City beat Liverpool today, I think that Arsenal's running is so difficult, and they've still got to go to the Etihad. I think it is a real toss of a coin title race.
I was waiting for your response. Oh, dear.
About the Emirates Stadium here in North London. I'm Derek Ray, and joining me here on the commentary box is Lee Dixon. And very much looking forward to bringing you action from the Premier League. It's Arsenal up against Leeds United.
Yeah, thanks, Derek, as always. Pleasure to be here. I have to say, the atmosphere is fantastic in here, and I'm anticipating a really good game today. Hopefully, we won't be disappointed.
And he's broken free. And he clears it out of harm's way. Played into the centre of the box. What an important piece of defending. Really closing him down. And this is the Arsenal starting 11. Bernd Leno stands between the posts. Thomas Partey starts with Granit Xhaka in the centre of the pitch. And the main threat in attack today should be Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. He's in here. It's got to be a truly magnificent start. An early goal in the game, just what they were hoping to produce.
Well, here it is again, and I wonder how he waltzes past the defender so easily. And once he gets himself settled with the keeper to beat, he hammers it into the back of the net. Smashing goal. Got to wait for the ball to come down, and he's very, very unlucky.
Thomas. Nicely cut out. Well, can they exploit the space out wide? Plenty of players waiting in the middle. And you need your defender to take charge. Thomas. And the counter-attack is on. Options available. Will they profit from this situation? Opportunity! Well, it's all going so swimmingly for them here. Another goal. And now it's a matter of avoiding any silly mistakes.
Well, here's the replay. He's done really well to get his head up and pick out a teammate. But then there's plenty to do from there. He's hit it so well. Lots of pace, lots of power. And the keeper just can't react in time. Great strike.